I was an assistant athletic director and a varsity boys basketball coach 3 years ago, and it was at a private school, so these players were, like, kinda big, but also they really were just going to be student and, like, maybe they'd walk on later to play a sport. So I don't have a ton of information on that, but I know back in my day, as long as you were getting in the tournaments with elite teams and playing against the elite teams, you were gonna get the exposure that you needed. You didn't necessarily need to be on an elite team. So, like, I don't know if you live in a city or close to a city where big tournaments are being put on, but if you could just get your kid on a team and then that coach can get them where other big teams are playing, I don't know, like, it doesn't need to be EYBL. I don't even know if that's still around. I only played 1 season on an EYBL team, and I mean, it didn't really do that much. I met some cool people, but, like, I already had offers coming in middle school, so, like, I do think AAU is very important, from the beginning. I think I got my first offer in 7th the summer going into 7th grade. So, I mean, they're looking at that, and they're giving unofficial visits that early. Well, I don't know if they still are, but they were back then. So, I think that's really important. Training with PJ, I needed that. He was the one who taught me about how to holistically be like, to use my talents and gifts to better my holistic being. I don't really know how to phrase that well, but, like, he's the one who was like, "Pay attention to what you're putting in your body." Because like, I would around my AAU teammates, they were eating crap, like, they were eating, like, hot Cheetos before games, and I'm just like, "Nobody's gonna, like, tell you that's a bad idea. Do you not care?" I don't know. I wanted to perform at my best, so I wanted every little thing that would help me get there. So, PJ's over here, like, making me drink smoothies and stuff and putting different things in it, like protein and whey and whatever else, vitamins. But he's also getting me in, like, to visualize real world situations. He would put me in, like, these crazy, like, military boot camp things, but, like, I needed that for my mentality to grow in that direction of, like, "Oh, this is actually what it's gonna take." And I don't know, like, sibling situations, if y'all's kids are only kids or whatever. I was the youngest of 8, so, like, I was a part of the youngest child theory of they're gonna probably do the best because they're just being thrown in with their older siblings, so they're, like, playing up all the time. And that's really important because if you're going from middle school, you're playing your age group all the time, and then you're a freshman, suddenly you wanna be on varsity. Well, all of these kids that you're playing up is what you're doing. So, if you can start them playing up early, I mean, that's what's really gonna be an advantage. From a parent's perspective, I think pay attention to their birthdays. Um, I'm not saying you should do this, but sometimes parents will, like, hold them back if they I don't know if they ha I don't know the math on it. If you have, like, I guess, a late birthday. Because that 9 months is huge. Like, these every single month is huge for development, especially, like, for what I probably for men too. Um, but, yeah, PJ was the one who was like, "Put it in your mind of, like" and also he's been a ref, so it's like, he's able to teach you what refs are looking at and what you can get away with that you didn't think you could get away with, which every little advantage, it helps. Um But I love those individual training sessions, and also he would make me train with guys at that point because we were all getting older, but, that's really important too. I would say as far as, like, if you yourself as a parent are not super like, if you didn't play or whatever else, going to camps was big. I know sometimes the camps can be, like, just, like, money holes. I wouldn't go to, like, a Nike camp. Those are dumb. I've actually been a Nike coach for a Nike camp. Don't do that. The curriculum is horrible. They really do just take your money. Try and find some type of, like, I don't know, maybe reach out to, like, ex-players in the area or I don't know, but, like, at camps, that's when you learn things that you can do, um, when you're taking your kid to the gym. They'll take them through a bunch of different drills, and so will PJ. Invest in, like, little cones if you don't already have 'em. Um Those are really helpful, with coming off screens and simulating things that are real world, real game scenarios. As far as watching games, I don't I never watched NBA, WNBA. I watched the Spurs because, like, Manu, Duncan, and Ginobili, who didn't, or Parker, who didn't watch them, but, I didn't watch I don't think that's necessary. Um, Maybe watch college, I feel like, because if you just only watch pros, you're gonna learn habits that are kinda lazy. Um, it's just that it's such a high level that you're really not gonna get out of it what you could if you're watching college. And maybe if you have, like, a local college, take them to local games. I think that's really important. That's just more that's the next step. Like, don't skip a step and, like, focus on the pros because it's not real basketball because they're both so talented and gifted and at that point in the professional career that you're just not gonna get a lot out of it because they're not taking risks. They're not doing they're not student athletes. They're not going off of, like, 2 hours of sleep during finals week. They're not like it's not the next step. So I would just always focus on the next step. Maybe, like, go to the local high school games. Go watch those. I mean, admission there is, like, I don't know, $5 maybe in this economy, 10. But I don't know, see if you can talk to the varsity coaches for the high school that they might wanna go to or something like that. And that's a lot better. I would say that's better, for them as far as just watching basketball. Strength and conditioning, I would focus more on conditioning. Um, I think late middle school, 8th grade would be good for really getting into strength. Um, but things like CrossFit, I think we not actually, like, doing the CrossFit, but just little things that you can get in, little camps. I just think camps are really helpful. You learn things that just broaden them as an athlete because learning that eye-hand, coordination and different ways that they can move their bodies, is just huge to play other sports and getting involved in other things that just build different muscle groups, and slowly their brains are gonna be able to make that connection of, like, how that can be advantageous in basketball. Um, I would say don't put them basketball, 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 basketball all the time, all the time, all the time. Even me, I didn't really, like I didn't do that much. I would say during the summer, I trained 2 to 3 times a week. AAU had, like, 1 practice, but we were really in it for the weekend tournaments, but we didn't even have a tournament every weekend. Um, I I really don't think I just lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah, doing the different activities, that's really important because I get burnt out, and if I had done basketball, like, every day all the time, I woulda gotten burnt out and really hated it, which during college, I kinda did, but during school, it was hard for me to, like, "Oh, we have practice every day? Oh, we have practice twice on Saturdays?" I don't know, to do that and then also, like, continue that throughout the summer, that would've been too much for me, I think. So, make sure there's breaks, make sure they're able to, like, be a kid. Um, Also make sure that you're their safe haven. For me, my parents, they also didn't play basketball that much. Obviously, like, they had 7 kids before me that did. We all played basketball. I didn't really have a choice, but, um, I wasn't really able to talk to them about, like, kinda how I felt. It was more like, "You need to score more, blah, blah, blah," but, like, I wanted to be a point guard, and I really like to have, like, assists. I really like to make my teammates shine, and they just wouldn't hear it. So, that was hard for me, but, I mean, I just think your relationship with them like, they'll be able to be more honest with you if you're willing to really listen and not just, like, hound them all the time about the things that they're doing wrong. Because a lot of my teammates would tell me about how their parents did that, and I was like, "That sucks," but mine also don't listen to me, but in a different way. Um, so, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else I feel like